Hello everyone, 大家好. My name is Alex Erler. I am a philosopher by training, and in February of 2022, I will be joining the Institute of Philosophy of Mind and Cognition at National Yang-Ming Chiao Tung University as an associate professor. Broadly speaking, my research can be said to focus on ethical and philosophical issues that are related to emerging technologies. So one example of a relevant technology is sometimes called neurointerventions. So this refers to direct interventions into the human brain to treat various mental disorders like depression or brain disorders like Parkinson's disease, but also to improve upon normal brain function. And in this case, we speak of enhancement or neuroenhancement. And we can try to accomplish this by using various types of psychoactive drugs, antidepressants, stimulants, modafinil, or things like deep brain stimulation and also non-invasive forms of brain stimulation, and perhaps in the future things like brain-computer interfaces. So here, a concern that many people seem to share is that these interventions might change who we are. And here one might ask, well, even if they do change who we are, is that necessarily a problem? I think the answer is that no, not necessarily. Some changes to identity might be desirable or at least acceptable. But nevertheless, it does seem that changing some central aspect of who an individual is as opposed to a peripheral one gives a different status to the intervention, makes it a bigger deal, so to speak, and demands greater, stronger reasons for the use of the intervention. So this raises the question of what it is that makes us who we are as individuals. What is it that makes some features central as opposed to peripheral? A related concern is that such interventions might make us less authentic or less ourselves, which in turn raises the issue of what authenticity is in this context. I have my own proposed answers to those questions. So my answer to the second question is that authenticity is basically many things. It's a rather ambiguous protean concept that can legitimately be used to cover various more specific values, say autonomy, being in touch with reality, and so on. And so my claim here is that we should make sure we're specific when we discuss this issue. We should specify which notions and values we have in mind and not just stick to the more ambiguous talk of authenticity to avoid talking past each other. A second theme of my current research concerns the ethics of human brain organoid research. So human brain organoids are structures that scientists grow in vitro to model various aspects of human brain function, to understand it better and try and develop new therapies. I have an ongoing research project with some Japanese colleagues on this theme, and some issues of interest to us concern the prospect that human brain organoids might develop phenomenal consciousness. If so, how could we establish that they had done so? What would be the ethical or regulatory implications? Also, what if scientists transplant human brain organoids into non-human animals, as they are currently doing? Can this ever lead to enhanced mental function in the recipient animals? And what would be the implications of this? The ethical and regulatory levels. And a final topic that my research is increasingly focusing on has to do with ethical and political issues raised by advances in artificial intelligence. These issues include the use of AI for what I call a human augmentation, something close to the notion of enhancement. For instance, relying on AI systems in our decision making to try and make better decisions, say in the financial domain, but also in the moral domain, for example, as some philosophers have recently proposed. They've advocated for the use of moral AI advisors. So what could be both the benefits and pitfalls of such a practice? There's the issue of machine consciousness. Could machines acquire phenomenal consciousness? This raises many of the same issues as human brain organoids. There's the issue of moral rights. Could AI systems become moral rights holders? Under which circumstances should we grant them moral rights, what would be the necessary conditions, but also how do we develop new and improved AI systems that will respect fundamental human rights and freedoms as opposed to threaten them and lead us down the path of techno-authoritarianism. So this raises the issue of the global regulation of AI, both in the military and the civilian domains. So this is a brief overview of my current research. Thank you for watching.